Hey guys, welcome to This Week in Chemistry. This is week three's introductory video. Um, you should have, at this point, finished chapters 1 and 2 homework and submitted those, and chapter 3 homework will be due, I think, on Sunday. So you have a couple of days to get that done still to finish out week two's work. And you've already done lab 3 and turned that in, hopefully. Now, moving on into week three. There's the chapter 4 lectures. Let me click on it and give you a quick overview, and also for me to look at it, make sure nothing's going crazy. There's the lecture notes for chapter 4. There's homework problems that you can find in here. If you click on the homework problems, it just takes you to links to the homework problems. This is all the problems, and these are the problems assigned uh, based on the edition of the book you have. Okay, so just to remind you of that, let's go back to where we were at in chapter 4. There are lectures that you need to be looking at, and again, reminders about homework at the bottom. Now, the big stuff that's coming up, let me scroll down back here, is we have a lab, which we'll have a pre-lab, and I'll show you that in a second. And then in week 4, so that's the following week. So this is the week of the 28th through September 1st. We're going to have our first exam. It'll be on chapters 1 through 4. Now, if you click on this, it will show you or take you to the page that has links to the practice materials for each chapter. So there's a chapter quiz for every chapter that will give you a good idea of what the exam will look like. In addition to multiple choice, there'll probably be 3, maybe 4 written questions for you to do at the end, so I could see how you're doing your work. I will want to see that you're doing things in the dimensional analysis style, for example, or using the different laws like conservation of mass and stuff properly. And then also something important is this exam 1 useful information. This is the information that you get for the first exam. Okay, it's a picture of the file. You get the temperature conversion equations. You get calorimetry or specific heat equations, often called the MCAT equation. And a couple other conversion factors and volume equations. And in particular, if you need some of these things in questions, those will be part of the questions. So you won't always have to come back to here. But these are things that you should know or know are here, so that if you don't remember, you can come back and look at them, and you'll get this sort of super simple periodic table. There is some memorization stuff for that first exam, so you might want to start on that now. You need to know elements of on the periodic table. There's symbols, that's this stuff here, and names. And then there's a element name practice quiz that you can just click on, and you can just do it over and over again, and it'll help you memorize. It has all these elements and symbols in here as questions, and then it just randomizes from a larger set of problems that I created. All right. So having said that, that's not next week. That's the following week. But when are you going to study, right? You should start studying now for that. So that's why I thought I'd bring it up. Now, let's go ahead and look at the lab for week 3. Again, I include a video that shows exactly how the lab's done. These are just holdovers from when we had to do everything online. There is an introduction, and there is also a report sheet. And as you might be familiar with now, let me go ahead and download that. Like the 4th time I've done this, so there's 4 copies. There's the pre-lab. If you come early, I will have already finished this, and it would, if the projector is working in class, will be up on the screen somewhere, so you can ask questions, so that when class starts, you're just ready to hand it to me. Okay. Now, I won't ask for it right at the beginning, because I like to have a short discussion about why answers are what they are. So my goal for you before class starts is, or before you come to class, so maybe even the day before, or just like right after you watch this video, go through and try to answer this. Use the introduction for the lab to help you answer this. And if you're not sure, guess. okay? And then come to lab, and I'll have this up with the answers. And at the very beginning of class, we'll have a discussion about, like, well, why did you get this answer? When you got a different answer, I can then explain to you, because you're going to get a quiz on this, and I'll show you that in a second. But you'll get a quiz on this the following week, along with the exam. And the quiz is going to ask you things like, hey, why is this a physical change, or why is this a chemical change? And you'll have to be able to answer, and it'll be different than these pre-lab questions, but it'll be the same type of material. So I want you really to be able to have knowledge about the answers that you give, so that again, when you take your final and when you take, when you're prepping for exams or doing other labs, you'll have a good idea of what's going on. Now, the other thing that comes on that quiz, now that I'm on the quiz, is it'll be talking about the glassware you use. So up until this point, we've used relatively little glassware, but there was a Buchner funnel, there was a graduated cylinder, test tubes, beakers, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else. But I may ask you questions about those different items and how they're used or how they can be used, okay? All right. And then this is the lab report. This is a super short lab this week. So if you have questions, you should be able to finish this one really quick. If you have questions about lecture content, I can just re-go over those things in class after the lab, okay? I think that about covers it for what's coming up this week and actually in week 4, right? So we're in week 3, but also what's coming up in week 4 with the exam and the quiz. Oh yeah, I forgot. There's going to be some information on the quiz about safety, like what are the things maybe you're always supposed to be wearing in lab, or what do you do if there's a fire, or there might be questions like that on there. So if you want a copy of that safety contract, I'll try to get it and post it for you in this same section that's over here. Okay. If you have any questions, again, you guys have my cell phone number. Feel free to text me. If I don't respond back to you, it means I'm like out in the mountains or somewhere where there's no cell phone or connection. But I always answer them when I see them. Okay. Even if it's just to say can't answer it right now, my connection's really horrible, right? All right. Anyways, yeah, I always answer when I see them, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. I prefer that you do text messaging over emails, just because of the way I get the information. It's just a lot faster for me to get text messages. Even if you just text, if it's complicated, you want to send me something. Go ahead, pictures are fine, but if you have documents you want to send me or something, go ahead and send me an email, but send me a text and say, hey, Dr. K, I really need you to look at this right away, and then I can do that, okay, too. So hopefully you had a good week. Hopefully you're staying on top of things, and hopefully that next week goes better and we have a great semester. So thanks for checking in, and I look forward to seeing you again next week.